Hey everybody, glad to be back. Hope this has been helpful. I've been talking about the initiative, like how to get the initiative, and then you need to make a space that you're doing what you need to do, and that space is really about the disciplines or the core of what you're talking about. And so when I think about basically, I've now figured out where my north star is, what I need to do. I know what my foundational things that keep me on target with that are. Am I making time to keep that foundation there? That's really the question, right? And am I building that into my schedule? Do I understand that that's a core thing? And so, to give you an example, when it comes to business, a silly example, but I think it's one of my favorite ones ever, is I heard about a pro basketball team that at the very beginning of the season, like every year, they've got new recruits, new people coming up from college or whatever. They get their very first practice every year. They spend the first 10, 15 minutes with everybody tying their shoes. Now, these are pro basketball players. Why would you spend time? Why would you make time to tie your shoes? And it really boils down to, if your shoes come untied in the middle of the game, it's going to impact your performance. So we're going to make a point that even though we're grown adults and should be able to do this, we're going to spend time. We're going to plan for it. We're going to spend time in the practice making sure our shoes are tied. And I think that's so, like, there's a reason pilots have a checklist, right? Like, you're flying an airplane anywhere, you've got this checklist that you're going to make sure everything happens. Well, in order to get from point A to point B, quote, on time, you have to know that that checklist takes a certain amount of time to actually execute and validate. And so along those lines, you're building time into the schedule for that. And so I think one of the failures a lot of people do is, especially with the way corporate calendars work. This idea that you can just reach out and touch somebody and put time on their calendar, and now that they're sort of obligated to respond to that or to do something with it, like, it creates a real challenge from a time perspective. And so what I recommend, really, when you're trying to keep the initiatives and keep things going, is that whatever the disciplines are, whatever the core things you need to do, whether it's tying your shoe, whether it's your pre-flight checklist, whether it's your daily devotions. I mean, one of the things that I do every day is I have a time set aside that I sit down and do my devotional work. Now, that what that is varies from time to time. Maybe I'll talk about that sometime. But it's important to me. It's important to my life, my faith, my community, the people that I interact with regularly, that I kind of do that, and I keep my head on straight. It really helps center me and make sure that I'm keeping the main thing the main thing. I credit that sort of daily time to being married for 30 years. I credit it to having kids that still like me, right? Like, I've got a lot of insight from that. But in business too, like, it doesn't really matter. It's that every week, every day, every month, what are those things I have to do to make sure I'm successful? So recently, I started this centering, regaining the initiative activity in my day job, and one of the big things that was like, wait a second, because I have this huge new list of collaborators, there's no way I can expect to be successful with what is put in front of me by just being ad hoc about it, right? Like, I can't expect to just randomly throw stuff on their calendar when I think I need something and hope it's going to work out. So the first thing I did was I said, look, this new set of collaborators, I said, how much time do they need? Right? Do they need a daily one-on-one? Do they need a once a month? Do they need a once a quarter? And I went through and I actually made time for specific people. And it's like, hey, collaborator A, I think we should meet once a month, because maybe we won't need it. Maybe we can cancel. But at worst case, we're going to meet every other month. Right. And that's one of the things about making time, is being realistic about other people's time, that it might be important to you to meet all the time because, whatever, there's a number you need from them, there's feedback you need, whatever, but it might not be important for them. And so my rule of thumb on making time with others is, how often should I speak with this person, right? So if I should speak with them once a week, then I might want to have a couple meetings every week with that person, just to be sure. That way we can always cancel, but hey, we're connecting. That's it. In what I do, I don't usually have people that need to daily, other than, like, for my small business, I do meet with my team members. I have a daily time set up for them early in the morning, before I start my day job, to just make sure what's going on. But even that gets canceled, right? Like, stuff comes up, other things, other priorities. And so while we have a daily, we don't necessarily meet daily. And I think that's the point is it's still that discipline of we're going to get together, we're going to spend time together, we're going to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And so as you're trying to keep the initiative, you're trying to keep things going, making time daily to do the thing of just scheduling what you need is super important. Even if the thing itself doesn't have to happen daily, like this set of collaborators I'm working with, most of them I've set up a monthly. Like I can meet with them, if worst case scenario we skip and we meet every other month, I'll be good, they'll be good. That's kind of the time horizons that we're working in. On the other hand, have some other people that I set up a bi-weekly, like every other week, simply because they're people that I need to meet with monthly, and so I need to make sure it happens like every month. So we're going to meet every 2 weeks, and stuff will get canceled. I'll have travel, vacations, all that comes in. But at the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're playing basketball or you're in business, you need to be thinking about what is it that I just have to block off time in my calendar, right? Like laundry. I just have to block. Like I'm getting ready to travel now, and it's because I travel so much. Like laundry becomes a whole big thing that I have to build the time in every week. Not that I wasn't doing laundry before, but you can be what do I mean? You can be kind of lackadaisical about it, like not be intentional about it when you're not out of the house 4 days a week and you got to like make sure that you get clothes washed and back in your bag and take off. So it's a lot of things of what are those fundamentals? What is it going to take to stay centered that you need to be making time for? Right. So, you've got your place you're going to do whatever it is and your time. And so that I think that's the other thing is especially with one-on-ones and that time is, I talked about places yesterday. That's really a question is this fundamental better done in person, right? Is it something where I need, virtual meetings not going to work? We should be making time to travel to be in the place where we spend time together, right? Like that can be part of the equation. And so don't forget that, with things that are disciplines, with things that are going to give you the foundation to be successful at the big stuff, it's not just about the time to do the thing, right? Like I've decided that, my health is important. So I need to have the place that I'm going to go work out, but also do I have to travel there, right? Like, does that travel time work into how much time I have to actually work out? But I think it's really important just to be very cognizant of that, right? Like you could try to jam too much stuff in your calendar. And I mean, I don't know about you, but like, especially this, virtual calendars and people being able to put stuff on. I've had days, recently even where it's been like 14 30-minute meetings in a day, right? Back to back to back to back to back. And that's just a lot. That's a lot of little time. And so if I'm not also then making some time in there for the disciplines to make sure that everything else is ticked and tied, I can have some real problems. So anyway, hope that's helpful, and I'll catch you all next time.